9 o'clock on the dot, everyone. Welcome to Good Day Chicago at 9. We certainly appreciate you being here. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the stories that we are following this morning. There's calls for an investigation growing this morning after a woman was shot and killed by ICE agents in Minneapolis. We really watched that situation unfold as the day was going on yesterday. So we're going to break down the details and the new initiative being launched to monitor ICE agents in Chicago.
And it's a mission that is all about keeping Chicagoans safe and warm this winter. We're talking to the Bears about their annual coat drive.
Even though it's a little warmer out there last couple of days.
That's true. Yeah.
Plus, House Hunters, my favorite show.
It's one of mine, yeah.
All right, listen up. We're talking to an expert about why this month, January, is actually the best time for potential buyers and potential sellers to start combing through the housing market. Looking forward to that as well.
The interest rate bump. Yeah.
This is a beautiful live look outside. As we check in with Caitlin for a look at the forecast, we were just saying it feels a little warmer out there. Just how warm are we talking?
Right now, it feels good. It's going to feel even better tonight, believe it or not. Temperatures are going to be climbing all the way through tonight, and that's when we're pushing into the mid and upper 50s. But we do have some unfortunate weather to get through, too. This morning, it's generally quiet. We have gusts to about 15 miles per hour. The clouds, they are in place. We have a few breaks in the clouds here or there. But the chance for rain is moving in this afternoon. We could even see some heavy downpours this evening, along with some gusty thunderstorms. Right now, as mentioned, it feels good. 45 degrees at the lakefront, as well as in Gary. 47 at Midway and O'Hare. 39 in DeKalb. But this is where we have the best chance this evening between about 6 p.m. and 10 p.m. for some gusty thunderstorms. We could see some damaging winds associated with those. So you can see along I-80, point south and into northwest Indiana. That's where we have that marginal risk level 1 of 5 for a severe thunderstorm. Here's our future cast. Let's time it out for you. As I said, temperatures are going to be climbing into the 50s. By lunchtime, we're already seeing about 50 degrees at the lakefront. That's when we're starting to also see the chance for some rain moving in from the southwest. As we head through the day, 3:45, seeing some scattered rain showers. And this is the thunderstorm activity that I was just mentioning that is expected to push through this evening before we dry out into early tomorrow. Tomorrow, temperatures are going in the opposite direction. So we're hitting our peak early, and then in the afternoon, temperatures dropping back down into the 40s. That trend continues as we head into the weekend, when we do expect not only cold temperatures, but also the chance for a little bit of light snow. So here's your 7-day forecast. A high of about 39 degrees on Saturday for the Bears game. Temperatures are going to be hovering at about 30 with some light snow possible. Sunday, a chance for wet weather early before drier skies return with a high of about 30. And then next week, we start off with the low 40s. Back to you.
Caitlin, thank you. Not the first time we have said this, but the first time in a while, tensions are growing in Minneapolis. This time, it's after an ICE agent shot and killed a woman.
Hundreds of ICE agents have been deployed to Minneapolis as part of the White House's crackdown on illegal immigration. Federal officials say that 37-year-old Renee Nicole Good tried to run the agents over with her SUV yesterday. They say that the agent acted in self-defense, but the city's mayor said that the agent who shot her had acted recklessly.
Our officer followed his training, did exactly what he's been taught to do in that situation, and took actions to defend himself.
Shots being fired as the car was driving away. The narrative that this was just done in self-defense is a garbage narrative. To ICE, get the out of Minneapolis.
Minnesota Governor Tim Walz has put the state's National Guard on standby in the event of any unrest.
Illinois Representative Robin Kelly says she's going to be filing articles of impeachment against Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, who you just heard from. She made the announcement in a post on X. Kelly claims that Noem is violating the Constitution. In the post, she wrote that Noem wreaked havoc in the Chicago area and has now brought terror to Minneapolis.
Hundreds gathered in Little Village to honor the woman who was killed by ICE agents and call for accountability. The community is calling for a full, independent investigation into the killing, immediate accountability for all officials responsible, and transparency from the Department of Homeland Security and ICE regarding the use of force and operational conduct.
Well, we are hearing now more about what's happening here in our area. Want to get to Roseanne for the latest on her story today. Good morning, Roseanne.
Good morning. Well, Lightfoot, Lori Lightfoot, former mayor, is set to launch her ICE accountability project today. And this comes as the nation is focused on that deadly ICE shooting in Minnesota. That incident also has some drawing similarities to ICE shootings here in Chicago. Now, 31-year-old Marimar Martinez, seen here going to court, was shot by a federal agent. It happened in Brighton Park in early October. She was accused of ramming her car into an agent's vehicle. She and her passenger were indicted for assault and attempted murder, but those charges were dropped. A federal agent also shot an undocumented immigrant in Franklin Park in September. 38-year-old Silverio Villegas Gonzalez died. The agent claimed he was being dragged by Gonzalez's car as he tried to flee. Agents said he had been targeted for a record of reckless driving. Now, Lightfoot weighed in on the shooting in Minneapolis last night with the caveat that a video is just a snapshot in time that may not provide full context.
They could have easily done the right thing, gotten an arrest warrant, apprehended the person. But I can't see on that little snippet of video, again, with the caveat, any justification whatsoever for shooting into that vehicle as the individual was trying to flee.
Now back to today, in just a short time, less than an hour, the former mayor will be launching that ICE accountability project and detailing more about exactly what kind of information they're going to thoroughly document in the coming days. Roseanne Tejas, Fox Chicago.
Well, this morning we're also learning new details in the search for missing Chicago Public Schools teacher Linda Brown.
Yeah, so many people have been watching this develop online. Her husband says Linda's vehicle has been found, but we're still waiting for Chicago police to confirm that update. The family, however, says the location where her vehicle was found is not being disclosed because police are actively searching the area. Now, the 53-year-old CPS special education teacher was reported missing over the weekend. Her husband says that they watched a movie on Friday night. She went to bed early, and when he woke up, he says that she was gone. She had an acupuncture appointment that she missed that morning on Saturday. Family says she has a history of mental illness but has never disappeared before.
A Lake County, Indiana Sheriff's police officer is hospitalized this morning after a head-on collision during a police pursuit. It happened in Gary around 6 last night near the corner of 9th and Ralston Street. 2 people in the suspect vehicle were also hospitalized. Chicago's so-called snap curfew ordinance has new life. City council members took action on the plan, even as the mayor said he's opposed.
The city council, the public safety committee at least, voted in favor of a revised curfew ordinance sponsored by 2nd Ward Alderman Brian Hopkins. This ordinance would give the police superintendent the power, with consultation from the mayor's office, to declare a curfew at any time in any place to stop a violent teen gathering. But Mayor Johnson says he doesn't quite understand why this ordinance is needed.
There's a 10 p.m. curfew that has been on the books for some time. I've never been opposed to that. Now, let me be absolutely clear. What I'm opposed to is giving unilateral control to one entity of government to make a determination in a snap notice that could be a violation to people's civil rights.
It should not be vetoed. This is a curfew, a teen curfew that we need for the longest time. We've seen a lot of teen takeovers happen in downtown and in other parts of the city. I think it's needed because it gives accountability to our young people that there's consequences.
The curfew bill now moves to the full city council for a vote, which should happen later on this month.
A Chicago area father is filing a lawsuit against the popular online game Roblox. He says that his 9-year-old son was groomed and sexually exploited through the video game. He let his kid play because Roblox promised strong safety protections. The lawsuit says that those protections failed. He says the predator contacted the boy pretending to be another kid and built trust over time. He then convinced the boy to send explicit photos. Roblox sent us this statement saying it is deeply troubled by any incident that endangers any users. The company says it wants to set the bar for online safety, which is why it claims its policies are purposely stricter than any of those found on many other platforms. Well, police in Ohio say that 3 of the 4 suspects in the robbery of Cleveland Browns quarterback Shedeur Sanders' home have now been arrested. That robbery happened back in November on the same day that Sanders made his NFL debut. Police say about $200,000 worth of items were stolen from his home. The 4th suspect is still on the run. There's an active warrant out for his arrest.
The Bears could be getting some key players back from injury for Saturday's wild card, thank goodness, against the Packers. Both Rome Odunze and Kyler Gordon will likely return after missing multiple games because they were hurt. Now, for the players on the Bears who haven't been to the playoffs, the feeling of this week is entirely new. They talked about the mindset getting ready for Saturday's big game.
Laser focused, talking, communicating, being detailed, and in practice, the energy's going up.
Mentally, I know we're ready. I know physically it's something that we're going to see on Sunday. It's one thing to talk about it, but we got to go out there and execute and be about it. So that's all we're focused on right now.
You can watch that game, the Packers against the Bears, Saturday, 7 p.m. right here on Fox Chicago. Our coverage actually begins with Bears Game Day live at 12:30. We've got the early game, Rams and Panthers on. And then after the Bears-Packers game, stay with us because right after that we got full post-game coverage on your home of the Bears.
You know, it is pretty wild when the rookies and the vets are all in the same boat, never having experienced a game like this before.
We haven't been here in a little while.
Yeah.
We haven't. Vicariously.
The city is excited. We're anticipating. We hope that we have a win to report very, very soon. First thing this morning, I was texting all of my girlfriends like, the message has come forth. A massive artist just announced his big tour. He's bringing some of his best hits to Chicago. Oh, I'm supposed to be reading.
There you go.
Okay.
Auditioning to be Bruno's backup.
Right.
You know what, Bruno, if you need me, I'm there. Ahead of his new music dropping tomorrow, Bruno Mars has announced the Romantic Tour, his first global headline tour in nearly a decade. Bruno Mars will be at Soldier Field on May 16th, and at certain shows, he is bringing some other heavy-hitting artists like Victoria Monet. Oh, see, this is when you perk up, Brian. Okay. British singer Ray Leon.
Leon Thomas, I've been wanting to see him too.
Yeah, and his longtime collaborator, Anderson .Paak, is supposed to be a DJ for the entire tour. So tickets go on sale exactly a week from today. Don't beat me there. Meet me there, though, on January 15th.
I'll be circling that on my calendar, right? But just ahead, we're talking to a former Chicago Bear about the 37th annual Bears Coat Drive. Stay close. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
This winter,
9:14, welcome back. We know the Chicago Bears want to win the Super Bowl this year, but they're also on a mission to keep Chicago warm this winter. The 37th annual Chicago Bears Coat Drive is going on right now. And joining us live to talk about the impact of the program is Chicago Bears alum, a great player in his day, Jerry Azuma. Great to have you on with us, Jerry. We're going to talk. I got to talk to you a little bit about the game coming up. But let's talk about this Coat Drive. First of all,
absolutely.
You know, it's nice and warm out there today. We're going to have temperatures in the 50s, but this is a serious need. It is still January. Why is the Coat Drive important to you and the Bears, Jerry?
Right. I've been able to do this for quite some time. I think it's the 37th time that the Chicago Bears have done the Coat Drive, but it's about helping, the Chicagoland neighborhoods through its, this coldest months. So it's about, just finding coats and giving back to people in need.
All right, how can folks, fans, and viewers get involved, and what should they know before donating? Where do they need to go to drop off a coat?
Well, you can just go to the Jewel Osco, which is a partner of the Chicago Bears. They're in junction with Salvation Army and Sherway Movers to make sure all the logistics are in place. So you can drop off a coat to any Jewel Osco and make sure that it's gently used or lightly used, and we'll make sure that we get it to the families that need them.
And Jerry, I know you being intimately involved in this drive, I'm sure you've seen what these coats can mean to the people who receive them.
Yes.
Maybe give us a description of what their reactions are and how does that make you feel?
Well, it makes me feel proud. It makes me feel extremely happy. I mean, there's a lot of people that need coats and need jackets, especially during these winter months. So it's a call of action for the Chicago Bears to make sure that we can provide that along with the partners.
Outstanding. All right, speaking of cold weather, we got playoff football back in Chicago.
Yes.
What does that mean for the city and for the Bears? I mean, you got to be excited to see this team getting back to the playoffs.
Yes. I'm very excited to see the team in the playoffs. I mean, they rebuilt this whole team, and it's been a process, but I don't think the expectations were extremely high, but we've exceeded all those expectations, and now we put ourselves into a situation where we're in the playoffs. So now it's about doing some damage in the playoffs, and hopefully we get this big win on Saturday against the rival.
Jerry, you were a tough cornerback in your day. I know you played under Geron and for a couple years under Lovey. Tell me, if I see Watson crossing the middle and I'm going to throw something at the TV, what do the Bears need to do? I don't want to see that again, Jerry.
Right. The Bears have been battling all year, and they've had a lot of success offensively and defensively, but they just have to make sure that they do the necessary things that got them into this position. Offensively, they're explosive, and then defensively, they have to take the ball away. So if we can run the ball effectively on offense and take the ball away, I'm sure that we'll get this victory on Saturday.
I like your optimism. Jerry Azuma, thanks for joining us this morning and being an integral part there of the Chicago Bears Coat Drive. More than 3 decades there of great work there helping out the folks here in the city. Jerry, we're going to be watching that game with you right here on Fox 32. He was a great player, great return man, too, in his day,
Yeah, well, for those of us who will never make it to the NFL and can only dream of, being able to play professional sports, there's still an opportunity for us to, really get out and, flex some muscle here. A new sport is actually taking the world by storm right now.
I'm just learning about this as well. Our Gabriella Primus is live at a brand new facility where everyone is hooked on this new trend called paddleball.
Padel.
See, I don't even know how to say it. Padelball.
With some flair to it, guys. Yeah, padel. It's funny because it's popular worldwide, but Chicago, for some reason, is kind of linked to the game with this. Yes, Union Padel Club. It just opened here in Fulton Market. Guys, this place is unreal. I showed you a kind of walkthrough of what the space looks like. There's not only, of course, the courts where you can learn, but there's also co-working space, recovery room, bar, you name it. But we wanted to get on the court because we got to show you how it's done. I'm with Giannis. Giannis, you're a head coach here. You're a pro. You have many names. Let's talk about how this is different from pickleball. This is different from tennis. It's kind of an all-in-one. And I must say, just seeing it, I might be okay at this.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty easy to pick up, and that's why I think it's going to be pretty popular. The big difference is you can see it behind me. Your new best friend is the wall. Okay, you see we have some kind of cage-like, and that's what's so interesting in these sports and make the rally longer.
Yeah, that's nice because you're always so worried about hitting it too hard, and then you're out of bounds, and then the game's over, reserve, such like that. why do you think that this is becoming so fast growing around the world, now in the U.S. too?
Yeah, because it's really social. You have to be 4 to play this, and it's pretty easy to pick up. You play for the first time, see the racket is pretty small, pretty easy to handle, and compared to tennis, where you have to put a lot of effort into technique, before here you can enjoy it really quickly.
Okay, let's talk about some of the differences. Obviously, hitting off the wall is a big difference.
Yes,
but look
exactly.
at this paddle. It's like a cross between, I don't even know, like a pickleball, but it's thicker and it has holes in it.
Yes, smaller like a tennis, larger than a pickleball racket, heavier. So you have more power behind it, and so the ball we play with the like tennis balls, but they are not. Okay, they are a bit smaller and less. You have less hair, so less bounce, on the court.
Okay, another difference I found right when I walked in was that the ground is different, right?
Yeah,
There's
turf,
like some sand.
Yeah, so we have this is the turf, and we have served inside to lessen the bounce of the ball.
Okay.
All right, so you have less bounce, and it's also a second point is it's easier on your joint.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I asked you a very important question.
Yeah.
What is the wear like? What is the fashion like for this? You said pretty much just athletic clothing.
Yes, athletic clothing. Of course, we have specific shoes with more grip.
If you get to that point where you're, coming pretty often. Speaking of, once we start playing here, I know that we're going to make a good impression. Is there membership available for people, or can they come just for the day? How does it work?
Yes, we have both. If you just want to come and play with some friends, you can just come in here and have some fun. But we also propose membership, monthly membership, different level, with a lot of perks, with, like you mentioned, with all our amenities and co-working space, co-working area.
Yeah, it is so cool.
Yeah.
I love also that you're available for coaching.
Yes,
if
exactly.
you're like, you know what, you like it, but you want to get a little better. Giannis, you're a good teacher, I could already tell. Plus, this is cool. If you say you only come with 3 players, you can call someone in for the game.
Yes.
That is so cool. Like a concierge is what they call it?
Yes, so we're trying to put that together. It's a padel concierge. So basically, it's a matchmaker. You call this number, and we're going to make a game happen for you. You want to play, for example, Friday at 10 a.m., but you need players. I'm going to find them to you.
Giannis, when I first came in, I'm like, all right, these balls are moving fast with these players back here. Also, very female-dominated, too. There were some females playing, too.
Yeah.
Give me some basic moves for someone just starting.
You have to keep it simple and small. Try to keep the ball in front of you. Small movements, and you try to hit the point of contact. Has to be directly waist height. Okay?
Waist height, okay.
Yeah, waist height. And you see, you don't have to hit hard. The racket is heavy. So you just, in front of you.
All right, take it easy on me, guys.
Yeah. See? This is a perfect love.
Did it? Okay, guys,
You got this,
more
girl.
information about Union Padel Club on our website, fox32chicago.com.
Boom.
There you go, Gabby.
Oh, you can find more there.
There you go.
I'm so
You can also
unathletic
play
looking.
here,
It's sad.
behind you. This is allowed. Okay, here to the side. There is a different angle.
You got it.
Like
You got
this.
it.
All right.
You got to call the ball, guys. This is all me.
Oh, sorry. You.
It's stolen from me.
With the pro
Yes,
now.
perfect.
Oh,
See, it's easy to pick
so
up.
fun.
The ball is staying alive for a long time.
This is going to be a hard.
There you go.
All right, then it's okay.
Oh,
Gabby,
Giannis,
you're a
I
good
need to get some
sport.
lessons from you.
Good
I'll do a
sport.
little serve.
Sure. All right.
All right, guys.
So the serve, that's a tennis serve.
We'll check back
serve-
in with
the
her. She's
serve
got to
here
continue
is,
to get. This is just a warm up. That's all it is. It's the only movie people are toasting with Malort coming up. We're talking with director Sam Hayes about his coming of age movie shot in Chicago starring Odessa A. Zion.
Plus, the Bears playoffs game against the Packers on Saturday is the most expensive wild card game on record. I believe tickets are about $500.
I've seen some that like the most expensive, like $60,000.
I guess you got to be sitting right next to Ben Johnson to get that price. But what do you do if you're looking for last-minute tickets? You can find out this morning at 10 a.m. coming up on Chicago Now.
Sponsored by Four Seasons.
Just about 9:26, everyone. The Chicago Loop is experiencing a strong boom with significant businesses opening this year. It's so good to be able to say that. Joining me to talk about this comeback is Michael Edwards, the president and CEO of the Chicago Loop Alliance. Thanks so much for being here.
Good morning.
Should we say don't call it a comeback?
It's back.
Yeah, we love it. The Loop saw dozens of new businesses open last year, and now that we're starting to look at, some of the signs going up in different places, what are the spaces specifically that we can see reinvigorated with new business in 2026?
Well, probably the place that most of your viewers are familiar with is State Street. And so the north part of State Street, north of Monroe, from the Palmer House up, really robust. We have a lot of new investors there. Panera Bread is there, Gap Factory is there. I think most of your viewers probably heard about Barnes & Noble coming, which is a huge thing for us. So that part of the street's working well. The south part of the street's have a few more challenges, but we're working on strategies to do something about that.
Yeah, I think, the State Street is a wonderful place for Barnes & Noble. Like some of the other areas where we're saying like Barnes & Noble, I know some of the smaller mom and pop bookstores are like, what about us? But State Street's kind of a good place for it.
Yeah.
So why is there renewed investment right now?
Well, I think it's, of course, everything's post-pandemic. A lot of retailers have recalibrated themselves. Many of them are fishing around North Michigan Avenue. It's a little bit pricier there. And we have really good traffic, and the price is less on State Street. And so we're getting a lot of retailers looking for space on State Street, which is terrific.
It really is. And when you talk about like foot traffic, of course, a lot of times we see that in the summertime.
Yeah, right.
With Sundays on State, absolutely love it. But this is an effort to really get that foot traffic year round.
Yes, absolutely. And our pedestrian counts are back. The CTA is back in terms of volumes. I don't know if people have been on the train lately, but it's packed. And even the Metro, the ridership is up 14% this last quarter. So people are coming back. Office is happening. And a lot of the office, we have a lot of great property owners in the Loop, and they're doing really a great job of providing amenities that are bringing people back to work.
Do you have a wish list of some things you're still trying to do?
Well,
you said South State, but...
Sure. Well, we'd like to get more retail on State Street and more comparison goods shoppers, destination shopping. Macy's is, of course, the centerpiece of what's going on State Street. They had a fantastic holiday season.
Good.
And we just want more of that so that the shopper, there's shoes and there's clothing and things that people want to compare and contrast and make that shopping experience really, really special.
Now, I mentioned, of course, Sundays on State, but are there some other things that might be coming up? I get my little email from the Loop Alliance, but for those who haven't gone over the email directly, what are some of the things that we can look forward to in terms of like events or anything like that?
Well, we're really excited about the coming year. We have identified the fact that we are actually an arts and culture destination. I mean, we've known that, but now we're really embracing that whole idea. So there's a new group called the Arts Caucus, 90 arts organizations. They all provide wonderful experiences for all of your viewers when you come to the Loop. And so we really want to play that up. So Sundays on State is going to evolve into something. We're not quite sure what. Stay tuned.
You let us know when you're ready for breaking news.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that.
Great to have you here. Thank you so much for chatting with me. We'll be right back, everybody. It's about 9:30 right now.
An epic showdown at Soldier Field.
We're still getting a new information now on what took place in Minneapolis yesterday with a federal agent shooting and killing a woman. She's now been identified as 37-year-old Renee Nicole Good, but the governor is also putting all law enforcement in the state on a warning.
Yes, Governor Walz has not deployed the National Guard, but says out of precaution, they are on standby just in case things turn violent there.
Asher Red is in Minneapolis right now, and Asher, there's a lot of debate as to whether this shooting was justified, and that's from people from both sides of this who saw the same video.
Well, Brian and Anita, we're already seeing some pretty active protests this morning in Minneapolis, one of them happening just a few blocks from where I'm standing at the federal building. It appears that federal agents have already used pepper spray on a few agitators and made arrests. The Department of Homeland Security says the ICE agent acted in self-defense, but the governor and the city's mayor aren't buying it. Immigration agents are conducting targeted operations in South Minneapolis yesterday afternoon, and that's when 37-year-old Renee Nicole Good appeared to block them in with her car. When agents told Good to get out of the car, DHS Secretary Kristi Noem says she tried to run them over. That's when one of the ICE agents shot and killed Good through the windshield. Secretary Noem is calling Good a domestic terrorist and accusing her of using a car as a weapon.
You know, people need to stop using their vehicles as weapons. This domestic act of terrorism to use your vehicle to try to kill law enforcement officers is going to stop. And I'm asking the Department of Justice to prosecute it as domestic terrorism.
But some city officials are calling this murder, saying the ICE agent should be arrested and charged. Within hours of the shooting, hundreds of anti-ICE protesters showed up at the scene, many of them throwing snow and chunks of ice at law enforcement. Mayor Jacob Frey is calling the Trump administration's narrative BS, and he didn't use the acronym.
Having seen the video of myself, I want to tell everybody directly, that is bull to ICE. Get out of Minneapolis. We do not want you here.
This is just devastating for the community. We can't have people getting murdered in our streets. It's just not right.
And this shooting happened just days after DHS deployed about 2,000 additional officers to the Minneapolis area. Both local and state officials are saying that if people want to protest, they should do so peacefully. The National Guard is on standby just as a precaution in case things turn violent. Back to you.
Okay, Asher, thank you. From Minneapolis to back here at home, still emotions high over what happened there. Federal immigration tactics are under scrutiny here in Chicago, of course, too.
Rosanna has more on a new initiative by former Mayor Lori Lightfoot.
Well, the former mayor is set to launch her ICE accountability project in about 30 minutes. It comes as the nation is focused on the deadly ICE shooting in Minneapolis. But of course, Chicago has had a couple of ICE shootings as well. Let's start there. 31-year-old Marimar Martinez, seen here going to court, was shot by a federal agent in Brighton Park in early October. She was then accused of ramming her car into an agent's vehicle. She and her passenger were indicted for assault and attempted murder, but those charges were later dropped. And a federal agent shot and killed an undocumented immigrant in Franklin Park in September. 38-year-old Silvario Villegas Gonzalez. The agent claimed that he had been dragged by Gonzalez's car as he tried to flee. Agents say he had been targeted for a record of reckless driving. Well, Lightfoot weighed in on the shooting in Minneapolis last night with the caveat that a video is just a snapshot in time that does not provide context.
The reality is that that video is one of the most disturbing things that I've ever seen. As you are probably well aware, police departments across the country, really going back to the 90s and the early 2000s, have prohibited shooting into moving vehicles for the very reasons that you saw.
Lightfoot said the proper thing to have done would have been to track down that woman with a warrant and perhaps make an arrest, but certainly not fire into a moving car. Now, she is going to be having her news conference, as I said, in less than 30 minutes now on her ICE accountability project. Roseanne Tejas, Fox Chicago.
Well, let's take a live look outside right now in Woosah a bit as we see from our 2800 camera. It's shaking just a bit there, but we do see a bit of the sun. And Mike, of course, people really are looking past Thursday, past Friday to Saturday to see what this weather is going to be for the Bears game.
There's a little something going on Saturday night that we haven't seen the likes of which in many, many years. We have, right there, that will be the scene of hopefully a Bears victory against the Packers. And that is also going to be, I think, where we see a little bit of snow on Saturday night. So that's what I'm going to start with here is the Saturday night football forecast for you. Let's get into this thing. Kickoff is just a few minutes after 7 o'clock on Saturday night. And at that time, temperature is going to be freezing. Right on, 32 degrees with a few snow showers in the area. And there will likely be a chance of snow continuing around halftime. Temperatures trending downward. I think by the time the Bears have wrapped up their victory against the Packers, we'll be looking at the snow having ended. It'll be right around 28 degrees. It'll be rather windy. It's going to be a breezy night there at the ballpark. These are the current temperatures. You'd think this is March. 49 at Midway, 48 at O'Hare in the lakefront, even the chilly spots. I mean, Aurora 42, 43 at Valparaiso, Gary, Indiana, looking at 48 degrees. The wind's beginning to pick up. It is going to be kind of a blustery afternoon. We're seeing a 24-mile-an-hour gust at Midway, about the same at Gary. Not everybody's seeing a strong wind, but that south wind pulling in the warm air, and it's also fueling this storm system with an awful lot of moisture, which will convert into rain. 2 o'clock, raining over most of the area, and I think during that afternoon commute, wipers are going to be on. Now, there's a chance for some stronger thunderstorms, I think between about 6 and 10 o'clock tonight, where you see some of these red shades, mainly south of the city and into northwest Indiana. That's perhaps where there's a higher risk of some damaging wind gusts. We'll keep you posted, obviously, if we get any kind of watch or warning. Shortly after midnight, this stuff is pulling on out of here. I think tomorrow for the morning commute, it's just going to be dry with temperatures falling. The high for tomorrow will be whatever the temperature is at midnight. I'm going for 58 degrees. Tomorrow, dry, but then the next storm system is queued up, and this one is going to have a little bit of colder air to play with, so we see maybe a rain-snow combo platter here. It's not a big snowstorm for us, but it might be enough to whiten the ground. 58 with the warmest part of the day at night. Rain coming in 2-3 o'clock. South winds 10 to 20, and it'll stay windy tonight with scattered thunderstorms in January. 45 degrees will be the low toward daybreak tomorrow. But at midnight, the high tomorrow is going to be about 58 degrees. Then there's that second storm. High of 40, but temperatures falling in the afternoon on Saturday. A chilly day Sunday. Temperatures back up around 40 on Monday, Tuesday before the next storm system with a mix arrives on Wednesday. We're going to the birds. Take a look at this shot here. This is from Greg Markey in Porter, Indiana, and that is a blue jay, and he's taken enough pictures. He wrote me a little note saying, I don't think I've ever seen a blue jay with that less blue on it.
Is this a winter type of thing?
It could be. That might actually be a younger bird, which hasn't quite come into the full plumage.
Display.
But thanks for sending that one in there. And that was from Porter, Indiana. Thanks, Greg.
Oh, little baby bird. All right. Warner Brothers, the saga continues here. The Warner Brothers Discovery rejecting the latest takeover offer from Paramount.
Media company says it remains committed to the $82 billion deal it reached in December to sell its streaming service, studio, and HBO to Netflix. It says the Paramount deal does not include enough compensation to pay for breakup fees if it abandons its merger with Netflix. Paramount claims it matched that Netflix figure.
I need to start thinking about breakup fees. I like that. Chicago was represented big time at the SAG Award nominations. One battle after another broke a SAG record with 7 different nominations, including Chicago's own Chase Infinity, who was nominated for Best Actress, and some say kind of stole the film. Chase plays the daughter of Leonardo DiCaprio in the film. We can find out if she takes home the trophy when the SAG Awards are handed out in March 1st.
All right, I'm sure we'll be having some updates from Jake on that.
Oh,
when
you
those awards come
know.
out, right? Well, Disney announced that its live-action adaptation of Tangled will star Tegan Croft and Mila Manheim in the lead roles of Rapunzel and Flynn Rider. The 2010 animated film followed the adventures of Rapunzel, a long-haired princess locked away in a tower, and Flynn Rider, a charming outlaw on the run. The original movie featured the voices of Mandy Moore and Zachary Levi and made over $500 million worldwide. No release date has been announced.
Rapunzel to the tower. All right, think you look like That guy right there, Bears head coach Ben Johnson. Then Bedford Park is doing a look-alike contest tonight. You got to get out there. It's from 5 to 8, and it's going to be going on at Wintrust Sports Complex. Any age can enter. Just show up looking the part. What do you get if you win? How about a $1,000 Visa gift card? Plus, year-long freebies. Second and third place, yeah, you're going to get some cash and other prizes as well.
I talked to the organizer behind that yesterday on Chicago Live, and he said, you know, the $1,000 they're hoping someone will use toward maybe buying their ticket to the game on Saturday.
They need a couple thousand for a good seat,
I mean, you know, it'll help you along the way.
Well, maybe you remember, we were asking earlier, is this going to be like audience applause, or is there a panel of judges to decide who the winners are?
I don't remember that aspect, but I do remember he said keep it family friendly.
Okay.
You know, don't
So
be the person
no
who's
taking
like,
off shirts.
yeah, exactly.
No taking off shirts. Okay, well, we got it. All right, well, you can show your support for our Monsters of the Midway and submit photos wearing your best Bears gear.
Okay, we're going to be showing your pictures all morning long on Orange Friday. We love to see them. You love to send them. So get them in to the email address on your screen, gdc@fox.com. We'll be right back.
These are the moments they find.
Well, we typically think of spring as the best time to buy a home, but January might be the most budget-friendly month to find a new place. One study says buyers could save up to $25,000. Here to explain this morning is Nutella McGee, the president of the Chicago Association of Realtors. Thanks so much for being here this morning.
Good morning.
Oh, give our viewers, what are some of the reasons why buyers are able to save money if they try to buy a home now in January in the middle of winter instead of waiting until the spring?
Yeah, I think the number one thing is there's less competition in the wintertime. When there's more competition, prices rise. If you're out in the cold, in the snow, there's not a lot of people that want to do that. So opportunity lives there.
And we're slowly starting to see those mortgage rates come down just a little bit here and there with the Fed. How is that impacting how things are looking here in Chicago?
Yeah, so it helps because it increases the purchasing power of our buyers. So if they're looking in the winter and they got greater purchasing power, opportunity is ripe. Yep.
How about the inventory here in the city of Chicago, as well as the, I guess, surrounding suburbs? Are there any particular neighborhoods that are kind of hot spots that people should be thinking about?
I wouldn't say, I mean, inventory is still kind of low across the board. There are opportunities in just about every neighborhood. You just have to work with your realtor to help identify them and jump on them when they present themselves. Yep.
And in terms of sellers, right, we've talked about buyers a lot.
Yep.
If somebody is maybe thinking about putting their home on the market in the wintertime, are there certain things that they should be doing now that can make them more attractive?
Yeah, I mean, I think the typical advice when you're selling your property, making sure that it's clean, you've addressed any repair issues in the property, and your curb appeal is strong, is across the board. I think that making your property available in the wintertime actually is a benefit to sellers because there's not a lot of opportunities out there, and those buyers that are looking will gravitate to your property. So, yeah.
Are there other things that work and maybe push it? Because obviously, if you're selling your home, you want to get the best price possible. So if we're talking about sellers are able to save money in January, what are the advantages of putting your house out there now instead of maybe waiting until the spring where they think maybe I can get a couple more dollars?
Yeah, what we found historically is that the tire kickers are reduced in the wintertime. Typically, people that are out moving around are really motivated to buy a property, and that works to the advantage of sellers. You know, if you got people that are not wasting your time and they're coming out and see your property, you know, it can help you get your property moved quicker.
Now, we know when people are thinking about buying a house, there's a lot of things you got to kind of line up to put yourself in position to be able to do that. Where should somebody at home watching start with that process?
Yeah, you want to start with a trusted realtor. You want to do your research, find, you know, a local expert so they can guide you through the process. From there, they'll typically refer you to a strong lender that can help you get your financing in order so that you can hit the ground running and you have all the tools to do so. Yep.
All right, looking forward to what's on tap real estate-wise here in Chicago. Appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you.
All righty, time is now 9:48. Let's check in with Jake this morning.
Thanks, guys. The Emmy Award-winning medical drama The Pit returns tonight, and we're going to talk with star Noah Wiley all about it when Good Day Chicago returns.
Every neighborhood has its own story.
like we're a bunch. We're coming in with some Elvis this morning for a good reason. Today is the singer's birthday, and he would have been 91.
Wow. That music goes on.
Still works.
Yeah.
Still plays. We were just in Memphis, my girlfriend and I, because that's halfway in our drive to Texas, and we stayed at the hotel at Graceland. It's a great place to stay, and they said that the people that still come through and still dress up and do the whole
Oh yeah.
They put Elvis like in the waffles. They press Elvis's face in the wall. It's a whole thing.
All right, let's send it upstairs to Studio 32. And Chicago Now is getting ready to kick off at the top of the hour. Hey guys.
Jake, I was just there at Graceland myself. We didn't get to stay in the Elvis Hotel, but it was awesome.
Very cool. And honestly, a lot of Fox 32 viewers are there because they came up while we were all there.
Oh.
To hang out in Memphis.
Well, Jake's kind of worldwide,
No, they ask more about you guys than they do about me ever.
So fun.
Gotta go to
Right? Your
Graceland.
son is the biggest fan of Elvis.
He loves Elvis. He loves
It's his
Elvis.
birthday today. You'll have to celebrate.
I know.
Get a little cake. Okay, so of course we're going to be talking about the Bears today with Barstool Eddie. He's coming up on the show talking about the Bears versus Packers. Hopefully getting his take on what we should be doing, what we should be focusing on, and what the game will hold. Maybe
Exactly. A lot of folks just absolutely stoked for that. We're also going to be checking in with our friends over at TMZ about, do you know what catfishing is?
I do.
Okay. Catfishing is a new phenomenon, and there was some trouble brewing between Motley Crue drummer Tommy Lee, his wife, and another rock star. They are involved in this triangle that's actually not even a real triangle. But
so they say.
So they say. We're going to break all that down with our friends over at TMZ. And also a new season of the true crime show Curious Case Of is about to come back to ID Network. So we're going to talk with the host of that program for a preview of that. That is all coming up in just a few moments on Chicago Now.
Is this your last shift?
For a while, yeah.
Maybe he's trying to outrun some old ghosts.
It's going to be a lot of time to self-reflect. Sure you could handle that?
Big hit Emmy Award-winning medical series The Pit returns for a new season starting tonight. Jake had a chance to sit down with one of the stars who knows maybe a thing or two about medical drama.
Can I say
Please.
that Jake and I have very different tastes in movies and film, and yet this is one where I'm like, Jake, it's so good.
It's so good. It's so good. But that's what I love. Is all the sort of stuff that I talk about. It's all subjective, right? But yeah, if you haven't seen The Pit, I always tell people it's like ER, but every season is one shift. So every episode is 1 hour on the floor, and then we go to the next hour. So it's really cool. The season premiere of The Pit drops later tonight on HBO Max, and its star Noah Wyle, who just picked up the Best Actor Emmy for the series, of course, has a long history of working in the medical genre. He filmed ER right here in Chicago 30 years ago. And over the years, it goes without saying, he has heard from a lot of doctors about his portrayal of their profession. And he tells me that the reason they appreciate The Pit is because it makes them feel seen.
I always love the stories of James Gandolfini used to talk about hearing from real wise guys when he was filming The Sopranos, and Martin Sheen said he used to hear about from real politicians when he was on West Wing. I'm sure 1,000 doctors and medical professionals have come up to you over the years and said, you know what, actually, but I'd just love to know over your time playing someone in the medical field, what is the most interesting note that you've gotten from a real life person who really knows what they're talking about?
Oh, it ranges. Sometimes you get compliments and sometimes you get criticisms. Sometimes you get that would never happen, or you get you know what you should do on your show. I got a story for you. But the most rewarding are the ones where you meet somebody and they just feel sort of seen. They feel represented, and not just with the procedures and the medical knowledge, but they feel represented emotionally, that you're somehow depicting what their emotional and physical reality is. And that's very gratifying. And this show has really been incredible in that regard. The medical community's really embraced this show in particular. And we've gotten a high degree of praise for our authenticity, which is really gratifying because that was the exercise.
The Pit Season 2 premieres later tonight on HBO Max. In regards to pop culture representing different professions, so many people, I guess because they watch, whether it be the morning show or the newsroom, always ask, oh, so do they have an SUV waiting for you outside your house to take you? To which I say, yes, they do.
So lifelike.
Every morning. The
we
black
have a whole
SUV.
makeup team and everything. Yeah.
Mimosa's exactly right. Yeah.
Chilled to the perfect
Jennifer
temperature.
Aniston's walking around. And all
You
the time.
know,
Yeah,
we catch her occasionally. Yeah. Good stuff, though. Thank you, Jake. All right, 9:56. We'll be right back.
An epic showdown at Soldier.
All right, welcome back. Time now 9:59, just 2 days away from the showdown at Soldier Field, game number 3 against the